Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing today?
First off, I want to talk about how cool our little logo is.
It's super cool. Did you make that or did you get the...
I got my guys to make it. It's
Wonderful.
pretty legit.
Yeah, it is pretty legit. Cheers.
So, if you guys are tuning into the podcast version of this, I'd highly recommend checking out our Facebook Live or YouTube version as well.
Yes.
But if you are listening to it via the podcast, that's awesome. I love it. So, this week, we are on episode 003. Not episode 3, 003.
Because there's going to be hundreds.
It's be hundreds. And what we're going to talk about today and this week and next week is our top things that we like to do to get more stuff done in a day. Mm-hmm. So this week specifically, it's our top hacks for getting more stuff done. Part 1, 5 hacks for planning for a productive day. So,
find yourself more time to relax, find yourself more money in your pocket, more time to better relationships, people you love, people you like even.
Absolutely. And I know, one thing that we did with our students in our Facebook groups, we actually surveyed everyone to see how many people think there's not enough hours in the day. Mm-hmm. And I think there was one person who said, it's just right.
Yeah.
Which... it's right. I think everyone wishes that there were more hours in the day, but I think most of us could use the hours that we have and the time that we have just a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah. But then we don't have time to do nothing all day.
So, for you guys, we're going to be covering 5 of our most favorite things to do. So, just as a kind of to build into this, the thing that has always helped me the most is to create a system for how I execute my days. And most people would even think about this like a system. People just call this planning. But for me, it is a system. And what I do is I write everything down. And I think this ties really good into the talk that you had last week around writing down our goals, right? Mm-hmm. So if you write down your goals, you're more apt to have success with them and to achieve them. Yeah. Same thing with planning your day, right? If you don't plan your day, you're going to end up, YouTubing, Netflixing?
Yeah, for sure. And I think we talked about...
monster hunting.
Yeah. It's really good.
But it's a good game.
We ended up, I think we talked about it a little while, how things are much more effective once you have a system and a routine down for them.
It's everything.
Anything that you do. If you have a system that you go through every time consistently when you're doing that, you're going to be much more successful at that activity.
Yeah, I mean, take martial arts, for example. I have, 5 privates today, this weekend, and I'm creating everyone's systems for their Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. Now, the system isn't the end-all, be-all. It still needs to evolve over time, and it's going to change, but it puts something in a perspective that you can actually execute, which is going to be really important. So, step 1 to planning. Some of these are going to seem really obvious, but I would like to share kind of the ways that I do it. Talon can share the ways that he does it. And I hope you guys pick it up as well. If you guys are interested in getting the exact systems that I use, the technologies, the journals, the whatever it may be, all you have to do is pretty easy. Just share this video with your friends. Mike Hernandez, good morning. Share this video with your friends, and then just take 3 of them in your post or on my video. You can check the video on my personal Facebook page for Perry Worth or Neutral Ground Grafton Martial Arts
and Fitness.
Awesome. So, step 1, use a calendar.
Yes.
Okay. It may seem super obvious, but we don't want to just plan out our days. We want to plan out what's in the future. So, personally, I have 3 calendars. Okay. I have a chalkboard one at home that me and my girlfriend use for share things. So some weekends she works, she writes down when there's work, she writes when there's weddings I need to attend, stuff like that. I write down my Toastmaster meetings so she knows what Sundays I'm going to be gone. But that's kind of our shared one. And the other one that I use is my Google Calendar. Huge. And that's kind of the biggest one that I use.
It's the best one.
And you could use that with a shared person. Like you could set up a shared calendar. Like we can see each other's calendars for the gym. Mm-hmm. And I really like my Google one because it's on my phone and I always have my phone on me. So, I don't always have my chalkboard on me. I try to always have my journal on me, but, I'm not going to bust that out in the doctor's office and carry around a little journal with me all the time.
Yeah.
So Google Calendar is a huge one for me.
Then I use it as well. And me and my girlfriend at home, we have ours linked up together. So it's kind of the same version of the written one. Yeah. We don't have a chalkboard version, but we do have a huge 365-day massive calendar.
That's awesome.
But you can track paydays and when bills are due, and then we're actually going to get into this in a little bit, but it really, really helps with your Eisenhower Matrix. So I'm going to pre-frame that just briefly, and then we're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, definitely digitizing it, and then I also use Facebook for a lot of things. You can create events, you'll get notifications about it. You can hook that up to your Google Calendar. You'll get little rings on your phone when things need to get done. We live in a digital age, so let's make best of the tools that we have at our disposal. It's been more convenient and easier than ever to keep track of your day-to-day activities and your future activities. Make use of that technology.
Absolutely. And I know some people, like me, I think I said I had 3 calendars. I got my shared chalkboard one at home that I look at every morning. I have my Google one that I look at every day, which is my Google one's mainly the Nutri-Round stuff and my personal stuff. But then I actually have an Outlook one for work because our work's on Outlook. Mm-hmm. So my Google one, when I do, like when I'm at work, I'll literally make a time block from 7 or 8 to 5 that just says work. And that tells me to reference my work calendar because that one's totally different. And I don't let that one bog down my personal one. And in all honesty, they don't really connect to each other. And I like to just have everything in Google because that's what we use for the Academy. So step 1, write a calendar. That's going to let you foresee what's coming up, plan for what's coming up, and kind of get all your ducks in a row, right?
Yeah, and use it and look at it all the time. Don't just have a calendar. Don't go out and buy a calendar and just look at it. Write stuff down in it. Use it.
Cool. John, what's up, man? I'm glad you love the show. Irma, I'm glad you love my logo. If you guys are around, just drop us a few likes, shares, hearts. Again, if you guys want to get our personal tools, real easy, just tag 3 friends and share a video. And if you guys are on the podcast, go to our video on Facebook and share it. Comment it on Google. Shoot me an email. I'll get it to you guys as well. So, step 2. It's like the calendar, but for unscheduled items. I'm talking to-do list. Mm-hmm. And in my to-do list, I write down everything. Any little idea, to-do, task, project, whatever it is, goes in my to-do list, right? I might have a couple different to-do lists, I might have my home one, I might have my work one, my gym one. Mm-hmm. I might have one for my staff. It's a ton of different ones. Paper is great, but I'm not putting stuff on paper quite yet, and you guys will figure out why in a little bit. But my preferred to-do list is always to have it digital. Just like my calendar, some of my best ideas that I come up with are when I'm on the road, when I'm doing whatever, right? So I just want something readily available that I could just write down to-dos. And the nice thing about digital ones is you can drag things between different lists. You can resort them really, really fast. But that's what queues up what I'm going to be doing on a daily basis, right? So my calendar tells me my high-level things that I need to do, and then those empty spaces are filled with my to-dos.
Do you can you get ClickUp for personal use, or is that usually do the
ClickUp is my jam. So entrepreneurs, check out ClickUp.
It's really nice.
I have a coupon for any entrepreneurs that are interested in ClickUp. If you want a personal, I think it's $6 a person.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
a month or
a month. $6 a person a month.
It's a really cool resource that I use for planning at the gym. Perry got me hooked on it. You can set tasks for yourself, reminders, due dates, urgencies. Again, we're preferring that Eisenhower Matrix is going to really help you plan that out. Mm-hmm. And you can do it, for whatever. You can set other people in your group specific tasks. And yeah, I really like it. It's really, really convenient.
A free one that a lot of people use is Trello too. I think
Okay.
Trello's really nice. I think I actually just turned Sophia on to use Trello.
You didn't turn me on to use Trello.
Well, you have my ClickUp.
I have ClickUp.
Trello's a nice free one. It's mainly like you create lists and cards, and you put cards in a list, and you can sort them and move them. It's pretty
Okay.
cool. So you guys are interested in that? I'll definitely send that stuff over. The last thing is not the last thing. Number 3 of 5 is what Coach Talon has been talking about this entire time is the Eisenhower Matrix. So that is how we take our ginormous list of tasks and figure out what we should be working on, right? So before we even get into the matrix, we want to talk about the goals that we talked about last week, right? Mm-hmm. So every task that we should be executing, right, prioritized tasks, should be adding value or supporting the goals that we have defined in our lives.
Reason-based.
Wow. It all connects. Okay. So you want to explain Eisenhower Matrix?
Yeah. So you're gonna break up all the things, your massive list of to do, and you're gonna break them up into 4 categories. It's going to be important and urgent, important, not urgent, not important and urgent, and not important, not urgent. So your important, urgent is going to be...
if you guys can't follow this, just Google it.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
So like important, urgent is going to be like bills that need to get paid, exams I need to take,
but
meetings
now,
I need to have.
right?
But yeah, like they're coming up.
Like if the month, if the bill's not due for 3 months, then it might not be urgent, but it's important.
Due today. Yeah. So then that's good. Like doctor's appointments, dentist appointments that are coming up is going to be important. Need to do them. Need to plan for them, but they're not urgent. They're not due today right now. Your not important, urgent are going to be things you might miss out. Like so, you're like your concerts, your movies that you're planning on going to, right? Like there's a time limit. You're not going to be able to go whenever you want, but they're not the most important things on your list. And then you have your not important, not urgent. That's your video games. That's your, going out with your friends. That's your things that just maybe aren't
right. Yeah, exactly.
Super important for your, your
whatever your goals are.
Yeah,
right? And you can throw them away. You can fill gaps with them, right? So if you have all your important, urgent stuff done, and maybe do some non-important, non-urgent stuff. Mm. So here's the way that I like to think about it, right? Anything that's important and urgent, like that's what I'm going to do that day. So really what I do in my system is the night before my day starts or first thing in the morning, I create my day list, right? So in my day, my time planner from when I wake up to when I go to bed, I start planning things, right? So my calendar is going to have predisposed events that I don't have control over, and maybe I do have control over, but those are happening that day, right? Whether it be meetings, and we'll talk about meetings another time, doctor's appointments, commuting, lunchtime, right? All that stuff's in my day. Then what I do is I take this task list and I put in the important and urgent items, right? And what I want to do is I just want to come up with like 3 main targets for the day. If I try to do like everything, right, it's going to be impossible. So I always pick my top 3 that are going to be adding value to my goal. And I make sure that those get done, right? And then if there's still space, it's my important and urgent items. If it's my important, not urgent items, those get planned. So those might be able to get pushed, right? If I don't have time for them, but they need to be planned for the next upcoming days. Then you have your urgent items that are not important. Ideal scenario, you can delegate those somewhere else, right? It needs to be done quickly, but it's not necessarily important to me, right? So, if you have a team and someone's got a little bit lower bandwidth, that would be a great thing to give it to someone. So an urgent, not important item. And then it's the last category, the things that are not urgent and not important that we either want to eliminate or, maybe we block off. Yeah, make some time for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Netflix,
that's not important.
Relaxing, right? Yeah. So maybe, but limit how much you do it, right?
Yeah. What's the point about getting more time in our day if we don't have some time to, we did say we promised you'd have more time to relax, which is good because you'll get more done and then still have time to relax.
Yeah.
So you definitely work those in, but that's definitely the hierarchy.
Yeah. Daniel Savage, thanks for the hat, man. I love it. You guys aren't seeing Combat Corner, spelt funny. Local company here, Menominee Falls. We get pretty much all of our gear from them. They rock.
They're awesome.
Okay, so we have calendar, to-do list, both ideally digital, at least for me. But then I actually write everything down. So I'm taking that digital world and making an analog, and that way I'm reinforcing my mind, and I actually have the things I want to accomplish. My second last tip for you, so number 4. I keep saying last tip.
You keep saying last tip.
Dude, next week we have like 6 more. So
okay.
Time block your entire day. So
that's the tough one.
So I take my calendar, I take my to-do list, I put them in my daily schedule, and I write that down. Any empty space I fill, right? I don't leave a minute unplanned. And it's not going to sound as bad as you guys think, right? So I just fill the gaps, right? So it might be walking to my next meeting. It might be commuting. I might even tee up what audiobook or podcast I want to knock out on my commute.
Yeah.
It might even be something like, block off spending time with your family.
Yeah.
But have details on it. Like, so spending time with your family or relaxing, put details on exactly what you're going to do and how long, right? It's just going to make that relaxation more beneficial because you're not just doing stuff to do stuff, you're doing stuff to relax, right? Same thing as spending time with your family. It's like, plan something. Don't just sit around on couches. Plan on going to a park or the domes or whatever it may be. But I literally block off my entire day from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, right?
And part of that makes that really easy for you, I bet, is getting it all prioritized, blocked off the night before. So it's not like he sits down and he spends 2 hours planning out his day. It's just that he's got small, manageable tasks. We break our goals down into small, easy-to-chew bits, and then you just put a time frame on them. Boom, boom, boom. If you do these first 3 steps, step 4 becomes really, really easy.
And be realistic with your times and, realistic and generous with them, right? So, if, you go to lunch one day with a friend, it's probably not going to be an hour. Give yourself an hour and a half. Yeah. You finish in an hour and 10 minutes. Then you have 20 extra minutes to check your email or something like that. But at least your day's planned so you get those 3 main tasks of yours done, right? And that's kind of what helps me because I know, keep talking about this digital age, but if I don't block off my time to do things, then I get sucked into things like social media and Facebook and that stuff, and half hour later you've been scrolling on
I know, right?
Instagram or looking at everyone's Snapchats and you run out of time.
It's true.
So that's really what I do to plan my day. I get my calendar, I get my to-do list, I prioritize my to-do list, I write it down, and I don't leave any space in my day that goes unplanned, right? I'm realistic with my planning. I'm generous with my planning, so often I give more time than I might actually need because I know bumps come up in the road, and I don't want that to deter me. And kind of that's my planning thing. The last thing I wanted to talk about, which is the biggest thing that's helped me in the last 6 months, is at the end of my day, reflecting on how that day went. I write down one big win from that day. I might have a couple, right? So, if I got all 3 tasks done, right, I got my 3 accomplishments. If something really cool happened, I write that down. What that does is it helps me emulate my next day and the days in the future to hit my wins like that day did.
Yeah. Right. You have to appreciate those things.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the last, when we were doing our powerful words for goal setting, with our kids class, kids martial arts. The last thing we talked about is, what do we do after we achieve our goals? Well, you take some time to celebrate your achievements.
Yeah.
Right? And you can do that on the day-to-day basis. Like with this thing, you succeed in planning your day. You succeed in all of these really awesome, time management skills. Take a second, like Perry said, and appreciate what you got done. Look at it, be proud of it, and it's going to give you that extra oomph to move on to the next day, move on to the next task.
Yeah, exactly. Like, coming from jiu-jitsu coaches, a lot of times you'll teach an amazing jiu-jitsu class, and you're like, oh, that was a really good class. But if you don't think about why and write down that you had an awesome jiu-jitsu class and reflect on why it was awesome, you're not going to be doing it as consistently in the future. I write down every time I had an awesome jiu-jitsu class, and I think about what made it awesome, so I can do it again.
There were smiles. It was a fun day. They got through the work.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah.
So big wins.
Yeah.
The even more important thing than big wins, in my opinion, is any big learnings, right? So if my day didn't go well, or maybe it still did well, there's always room for improvement. So what's the one thing that you can improve in the future going on it? And I do this on a daily basis. I'll tell you what, most of the time my big learning item is because I don't time block my day. Yeah. And then I have like 2 hours where I just like get nothing done. Mm-hmm. But it's like busy nothing. So it's not relaxing nothing. It's like I'll be doing something for an hour and be like,
organizing the desk.
Like this added zero value to my goals, my state. Like, why did I even do it? Right. So big wins, big learnings.
I mean, if you're still on the, I think a lot of us were in the martial arts community or on the jiu-jitsu grind. I do that all the time. Especially with this is the biggest, I think number 5 is the biggest thing for me in my personal jiu-jitsu journey is taking the things that worked and taking the things that didn't work and moving on to the next class with that in mind. And that, obviously it's just goes to show you how martial arts kind of affects your life in more ways than just on the mat.
For sure.
You can use all of these things and they'll carry with you, but you got to carry them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, in the long run, you just need to do what works for you, but come up with your own process that makes it easy. Makes it easy, makes it manageable.
Make it yours.
Make it yours. Perfect. I like it. For me, that's this system, right? In the morning and the night before, calendar, to-do list, prioritize, time block, reflect. And that's what I do. And if you guys are interested in getting like the exact tools and in software development, we call it the stack. Like I'll give you the full stack of everything that I use to do this. Easy. Share a post, tag 3 friends. Alternatively, if you're catching this on the podcast version, drop us an email, comment on the podcast. I'll get it to you as well.
Have a good day.
Awesome. And next week, we're going to go on to... we plan our productive day, more tactical execution of our day to make sure that we stay on track and stay focused.
Well, don't talk about it, be about it. Let's get it done.
Thanks.